You never get enough of this, right? What's happening, y'all? Not alphabetically.
Doing great. Can we start with today?
Sweet! Talk to me, man. What are we going to discuss today?
Whiskey.
Whiskey?
Yeah.
What about it?
What's your favorite brand?
Say again?
What's your favorite brand?
You know what? To be brutally honest today, I will not tell a fib. Fucking hate whiskey. It tastes like super unleaded to me.
Have you ever had Fireball?
Call me a wuss, but I'll like a strawberry margarita. No one had, it's not an acquired taste. The first time you drink a strawberry margarita, you're like, oh yeah. The first time somebody puts whiskey in front of you, you're like, they're like, I'll stick with it. In a couple weeks, you'll learn to like it. Fuck that. Nobody has to do that with ads. Hunger, you'll eventually like it. No. The first time I was like, you know what I mean? Acquired taste makes no sense to me.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, man, if you love whiskey. I'm sorry.
Sure hope he's returning to his seat now. Okay, I didn't know if he was walking straight out after that. You ruined his dreams.
I know, right? What's up, honey?
All right, I gotta ask.
Lay it on me.
What was it like working with the cast of Dexter since they were such an established group already, most of them having been around for 8 seasons? Did they make you feel welcome on the set?
They were all dicks. I'm kidding. They're all cool. I will be brutally honest, and if there was a butthole in this one, I would tell you, but there wasn't. You know, it's funny. It's it's been a successful show for so many years. It was an honor to be a part of it. You know, and everybody was just like really cool. You know, Michael's cool, Jennifer's cool. Everybody on the show is really cool. I guess it's when the show's that successful, everybody's just relaxed and kind of digging it. I had a wonderful time, man. I had a wonderful time doing it.
Cool.
And I won't give any spoilers, but tonight's the last episode. Yeah. And I am on the motherfucking hunt. I will tell you that shit right there, man.
Thank you.
The process, is that something that you auditioned for? Did they seek you out? How'd you get on Dexter?
Hello? Oh, no shit. You want me to, you're gonna send me the script and let me read it and then tell you? Oh yeah, let me read it and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I'll read it and I'll get back to you. It was like that, on the phone I'm like, yeah, let me read it and I'll let you guys know. Inside I'm like, it's fucking Dexter. You want to bang this supermodel? Let me think about it a minute. No, yes. The answer is yes. I didn't tell him that, I had to be cool. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're all Boondock Saints fans here, and everyone's still hyped up
Certainly
on it.
somebody in the audience hates it. Oh, you raised your hand! I'm kidding, she was stretching just at the wrong time. Go ahead, yes.
My question is, would you maybe ever be open to making a video game for Boondock Saints?
Si, senor. Yes, there's been a couple of artificial launches where they were going to do it, and recorders and everything else, and now I think it's on the fast track. So instead of just randomly doing those first-person shooters where you just randomly kill people, we're going to kill people that fucking deserve it. That's some different shit. Thank you.
I just got to compliment you on your performance in this season of Dexter. For the first 5 episodes, I didn't realize it was you. I'm seeing your name and it's like, who the fuck is he?
It's funny what that coif does.
I'm like, where?
That's a fucking fierce coif if you haven't seen it. It's like some wind tunnel tested shit.
But my question is, what was your process to come up with the character, and then what was it like filming the scene where you put Deborah in her place?
That scene was fucking beautiful. Because she had it coming. Like some bitch sassing me daily, in and out. It's hard for me to bite my tongue. She was a killer to work with, man. She's a wonderful actress. I think she's, quite honestly, one of the best actresses out there. And she's a sweetheart to work with, so that was wonderful. what was my process like? You know, I got a different theory on the whole process thing, you know? It's, my process starts at fade in and ends at fade out. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go and buy a private investigation firm to really feel what it really must be like. You know what I mean? It's, and anytime a script is well written, everything you need to go by is in the script, you know? So it's a more cerebral process for me than, you know, some actors. You know, some actors, they play a homeless guy and they got to go pee on themselves for a week. Quite frankly, I don't like to smell like piss, you know? Take a shower and I'll imagine what it must be like. But it was killer. I mean, it's a well-written script, so I did it in my brain, and I went out there and bounced some stuff off the cast members, and we taped it, you know?
You did a
But I appreciate the compliment, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Good hat, by the way.
Thank you. Don't laugh, I have that costume.
I would expect.
My question was for young Indiana Jones, like what was your favorite part or one of your favorite memories from it? Because it looked like you got to do a lot of cool stuff because you got to travel all over the world for it.
I have a number of favorite memories. Elizabeth Hurley, Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's kind of funny. My first girlfriend on the show was Elizabeth Hurley. My second was Catherine Zeta-Jones. I have some wonderful memories from that show. You know, I mean, most notably, it's. I remember, you know, they'd call rap for lunch, and I'd ride a horse to lunch. It was just like so. It was kind of surreal. You know, 50-something different countries. I learned a number of different languages. I experienced cultures around the globe. I mean, if you look at the call sheet is what we're going to do for that day, and it lists all the actors, what time they have to show up, and there's all of these names like Vanessa Redgrave, Christopher Lee, you know, all of these huge names, and then Sean Patrick Flanery, who the fuck is that? You know, it was an amazing show in that, like, I was the only fictitious character in the whole show. Everybody else was real, and you know, every director was a huge name director, so it was literally 6 years of film school for me. I mean, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I mean, the list goes on. I capsized the boat in the Tana River, where the Tana River intersects the Indian Ocean. I mean, when we went to Nairobi, I lived in a tent for 2 months where you had a guy that would cook up bags of water to take a shower. I mean, when I say capsized, I'm a kid. Bell Hartsia, you know, around the Tropic of Cancer, it's like any still water, there's a parasite that lives, and if it touches you, you die. And they're telling us that, don't touch the water, don't even dip your foot in it. We're shooting on this steamer, and the sun's going down, tide's going low. It's the intersection of the Tana River and the Indian Ocean. As we're going to set, every day I see hippos. It's like in the canoes from the Indian Ocean down the Tana River. It's a 2-hour jaunt. I see hippos everywhere. They're like, you know, there's crocodiles everywhere. Crocs are sick. Well, they're crazy. Don't worry about the crocodiles. Worry about the hippos. Most territorial animal known to man. They will kill you. They will slice you. They'll eat you alive. 2 months we're doing this. Then we shoot this steamer shot. And every time we make a U-turn on the river, tide's going low, and the keel starts hitting the bottom. It starts to tilt. And then, boom, it catches and releases. I'm like, guys, this is going to go over. We go, we need the shot. We need the shot. I'm like, okay. So I'm like 200 yards away from the camera boat. We go down. We make the U-turn again. It tilts over. It's me and 3 guys on the boat. Some natives that don't speak English, that have never seen white men, never seen video cameras. I'm not kidding. I can't make it up. When I filmed, like, the campfire with them sitting and chatting, and I showed them on my little, I had a little laptop video player, and I showed them fire, they literally went, to the fire. I mean, they'd never seen like an image of fire without it being hot. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, seeing that. Having said that, I traded like 5 Ethiopian crosses for a cassette player, Walkman, Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits, and Led Zeppelin remasters. Nice. First time you put the headphones on, they're like, I put push play. To see that magic on the face, it was like a life-changing experience. Back to the capsizing of the boat. Sorry. Sorry for that. Sometimes I get a little spun out of the way. So, we start keeling into the sand, and it's about to go over. Everybody's holding onto rails, and we need one more. I'm like, guys, this is going to go over. I don't mean to, you know, you're on a fine line. It's my first job, so I don't want to be a Ponzi actor by going, we shouldn't do this, it's not safe. So I'm like, okay, let's keep doing it. You know, on the boat, it's going to fucking flip. We shoot it again. Sure enough, we hit the keel. It goes over. It goes over. I'm running up the side of the boat. In mind, my whole time, I'm like, don't touch the water. Don't breathe it. Don't get it on you. So the 3 natives, they stay on the boat holding. 2 of them can't swim. One of them jumps in the water, and as it turns upside down, I'm running up the side of the boat. I'm on the top of the boat. I'm on the top of the boat. There's a dude, I'm not trying, there was nothing heroic about it. It was like panics in the moment kind of thing. But I see this dude, he's holding onto the railing, and he's screaming and he's yelling. And so I jumped, and I was on my first swim team when I was 6, so swimming doesn't affect me. But it was the Bell Heartsea that I was petrified of. In a moment of superhero-ness that came somewhere, I jumped in the water to pull this guy out. I didn't even have to pull him out. He was holding onto the rail, but he was just petrified. So I pull him out, and I push him on there. There's a tide going out towards the ocean. And I push him up, and I let him step on my shoulders, and he pushes me underwater, and he holds onto the boat, and he gets up there. In the process of him pushing on my shoulders, I can't hold onto the boat anymore. I start drifting. I'm going down. I see 15 crocodiles on the left. I see on the bushes all of these hippos, huge hippos. And I'm like, there's not a molecule of my being that wasn't certain I was going to fucking die. There was no like, okay, this is going to be cool, I'm going to escape. There's no way out. Bell Heartsea's going to kill me. I'm already in the water. It's gotten in my ears and my mouth, everything else. There's crocs on one side, hippos on the other. Here comes the camera boat. I'm waving. Whoa! Waving. I'm like, cool, whoa! Right there. At that point, my fear turned into, fuck you, motherfucker! I was fucking living, and that's what saved my fucking life. I was like, fuck all of you, hippos, motherfuckers! I was fucking yelling at the top of my lungs, fuck you, fuck you! They got to the boat, and some of the native guys who were on the boat, they're like, Indy, Indy, Indy! I was like floating down the river towards it. I can't make this shit up, man. This is true stuff. The camera boat came and got me. They had to ship me to Nairobi, which meant like canoes for 2 hours, Land Rovers for another 2 hours, Twin Otter aircraft, to clear out the gazelles, to take off and take me to Nairobi. I had injections of I don't even know what to kill Bell Heartsea if it was in me. Anyway, I survived and I'm still here to tell a fucking story. But serious, man. That was serious, and you can't even imagine whenever you're in the water and suddenly all the crocs into the water. You're like, fucking, okay, I got a few more seconds left. That's it. Mom, love you, Dad, love you. You're going through it in your head. All those fuckers like went into the water. I don't know where they were going. That sucked, man. Yes.
So I'm sure I'm not the only one who was completely geeking out when we saw you in the Devil's Carnival. But I was curious, what was it like what was your favorite experience, and what was it like to be on the set of like a musical? Because that was like fantastic, and it was really shocking to see that. My
favorite part of the Devil's Carnival was being able to tell my friends, my single drops on Tuesday. you got a song on iTunes, it's pretty fucking cool. It's like I can go on iTunes and I'm listed, you know what I mean? It's just kind of cool. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. I'd never done anything like that. We shot it in Riverside, California, which oddly enough is the crystal meth capital of the world. A little statistic that you only find out when you're in Riverside. We're shooting everything digitally these days, so everybody's got laptops and what we call Video Village, where everybody watches the dailies and they're housed on these hard drives. And we're at lunch, and these 5, 16, 17-year-old kids come up, and everybody's at lunch, about 20 yards from Video Village. And these kids are meandering around, and they grab the laptops, and they start sprinting. I'm texting them. I knew that all my footage was on those hard drives, and so I started running after them. I started sprinting after these fucks, because I don't want to reshoot all this, right? I look behind me, not one Hollywood motherfucker's coming after me. They're all going, oh my God, they're taking our data. Still eating the fucking, aioli sauce kind of. I ran and I chased these guys into a house. I'm not trying to sound heroic, because it was just like something you do, right? Like somebody steals your shit, you chase after them. And they were like young kids. So they run in this house, beating on the door, beating on the door. Finally, some of the crew guys, they come up to like the street. They don't even come to the door. The cops come. I tell the cops, they're like, well, we don't have any probable cause. I'm like, fucking, I saw it! I'm not telling you I know a guy who saw it. It's not like everybody had an uncle that was in the operating room when they were pulling junk out of Dick Gear's butt. Yeah, right. Never happened. Maybe you guys are too young for that. But I saw them. So the cop's like, well, we can call the judge and see if we can. I'm like, how does this fucking work, man? They took it. I saw them. They ran into the house. An hour later, they get a search warrant. So they knock on the door. They go in. They search the house. I mean, bug-eyed motherfucker. They were just like, tweaking and tripping and fucking picking their face. Weirdest shit I've ever seen, man. Like, they arrested some cats because they were cooking meth. Like, cooking the stuff. Not like it was a bunch of guys doing it. They were cooking the shit. Like chemicals, and you're like, what is that smell? And then everybody has gas masks, and I'm like, why don't I have a gas mask? And the cops are just passing you with funnels on their face. You're like, what the fuck? To serve and protect, give me the fucking gas mask. So they search the house, they're like, no, it's not in here. I'm like, dude, I saw them. It's in here. So they go, okay, well, we'll walk around the house. The dudes had gone in the backyard and thrown the laptops over the fence. Anyway, oddly enough, we got all the laptops back. I know you wanted my best memory, right? I keep giving you these shit. We got the laptops back, and that's what you see there. That was Carnival. The footage is on that. I mean, it was a killer experience, but it was very bizarre because it all took place at night. So I was sleeping during the day, waking up, and going to this carnival that's worked by real carnies. You know, it was just so, it was a different experience. It was scarier to shoot it than it was when you watch it. Because it was really like tweaked out dudes coming in, you want to ride the Ferris wheel? You're like, no, I'm good, man. Did I tell you guys, like, when I left there on the way home, like at 6 a.m., I went by this liquor store to get a payday and a Nestle's chocolate milk because I was hungry?
No whiskey.
True story. We wrapped. It's like 6 a.m. The sun's coming up and I'm hungry, so I stop by this liquor store in Riverside. I park the car, I go in, and as soon as I go in, I'm like, oh, fucking should not be in this liquor store. You know, when you're just not thinking, you get in. By the time you're in there, you're like, fuck, I'm probably not going to get out of here. I look out and there's this tweaker lady, and she's got like a Tony Stewart NASCAR, you know, Home Depot. Like, she's looking at me, and she's looking at me. A big brother was with her, and she's punching him, and he's looking at me, and I thought, oh, fuck, they think I, like, knocked them off or robbed them or something. And she looks at me, and I'm getting my Nestle chocolate milk, and I got my payday, and I'm standing back there, and she looks at me, she goes, you Diego! I said, I'm sorry? She said, it's you, Diego! I said, am I Dago? No, it's you, Dago! Dago from the Kid I say, Dago from the Kid. No, it's you, Dago from the Kid. I'm like, oh, Darren Call from Criminal Minds? She's like, yeah, Dago from the Kid. Don't act like that's how you said it, baby. Like a genius how I deciphered the way you're meaning. But I said, oh my God, that's so crazy. Criminal Minds been on for like 150 years. I did one episode. You know, where I played a nutbag that went off on his killing spree and everything. I don't know if anybody saw it, but so thank you. So I said, she goes, yeah, they gotta get him out. Yeah, I was Darren Call and Criminal Minds. I said, I'll pick you out alive. And she started punching her friend. I was like, oh my God, that's how do you remember the one episode? She goes, no, I know. You see, my VCR broke, and I TV go kill the mind, and I can't get the tape out. You don't walk in the boat, so only thing I can play it is kill the mind. I was like, seriously? Yeah, I must have watched that 200 times. And the brother behind him going, yep. Yep, he dare go, baby. I was like, wow. I took the payday and I'm like, I couldn't believe it, man. Well, that's a true story. Somehow I hope she got out of the VCR, otherwise she's still. Like, literally, to her, it's probably network TV. She needs a fucking Tom Cruise. She's like, that's the biggest actor in the world. I give him my TV 24/7. I thought they were hustling me like we're gonna knock that guy over here and rob him. Weirdest experience. That's bad. I'm sorry. I'll give you some good. Yes, ma'am.
I'm discovering that we need to somebody needs to make a movie or a series of movies about your life.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is a Boondock Saints question.
Yes.
So my friends and I were watching it again this past weekend, getting pumped. And the only thing that stuck out in my mind was,
I
have to ask him this question. How many times did you want to
One.
slap Norman Reedus for having such a horrible Irish accent during both movies?
How fucking dare you come down to my paddle? Why would you fucking do that? Do I come to your house and go, that's your fucking mom? What your fucking mother is that?
No offense. There's no offense here, obviously. I just, working on set and the interaction there, I just had to be like, look, wouldn't you have been saying something to him like, hey, this is how it goes? When you had grandparents around, I mean, we know you're Irish. There had to be some people influencing you there.
And that's English, right? Just with a dialect. Imagine when we shot all the languages.
Oh, yes.
You were fucking there. Everybody. We had poster board taped up everywhere. And Reedus was doing his lines like this. I was like, what the fuck are you looking at? He's like, shut. I'm like, chef de sexual sexual hatsko straight sit up on the ja, natuurlijk. And he's like, say she parla il francese, I'm like, dude, that's not even doing Italian with an Irish accent. It's you fucking double the shit up on the cat. He's like, he turned into a fucking southerner, man. I go Russian, like, I crush testics like plastic bottle. Norman goes, I crush testics like plastic bottle. What the fuck was that? And then jumping back into Irish after that, he was like, Flanery, help me! The shit he's good at and the shit that I'm good at.
I just want to give you your props because you did your character awesome in both those movies.
Thank you, man. But I'll tell you this, I mean, sometimes, before he'd go like, how does this sound? Give me a liner. How does it ring for Irish? And I'd give it to him. Trust me, when we were smoking, I'm like, dude, how do you hold this fucking thing? How do you like this fucking thing? I mean, I'm over there like, I don't know if you guys saw part 2 when we have to roll everyone's cigarettes. Okay, well, fuck, I try to look cool doing everything. Not happening. I'm rolling mine like... Reedus motherfuckers over here going... And I look like a fucking douche over there going... So yeah, we both need help in some areas. Reedus is the coolest fucking smoker in the world. Another thing, I did a movie a long time ago with Debbie Reynolds. And she was talking about smoking. And she said, you never bring the cigarette to your mouth. You bring your mouth to the cigarette. I was like, it's fucking gold. It's fucking gold. And I see Reedus doing it sometimes. Like, I'm like, that's a model of inefficiency. It's fucking cool. Where that fucking came from, man. But anyway. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to say that my mom is crushing on you this weekend. You're like her new crush.
What about you?
Oh, I'm always crushing on you.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay.
So I'm going to ask this question for my mom because my mom really wants to know. She wants to know if it's boxers or briefs.
Let me tell you this.
Yummy pants.
It's going to piss some dudes off in here, but I'll tell you this, man. Any dude who's a dude keeps his shit tucked. Boxers are fucking sandpaper, and they let your shit jiggle. God forbid any shit ever goes down and you have to run. You don't want that shit fucking slamming together. You want your shit wrapped in soft 1,000 thread count cotton tucked the fuck up. Everybody's like, ooh, boxers are so sexy. Fuck, shut up. That's like when you meet a girl, she's like, I'm not wearing panties. You're like, you know what? You have no hygiene. You're like, you want to turn me on? You fucking have no hygiene, baby. And boxers, your shit's all down there going boom, boom, boom. Fuck that. It's a genetic legacy. If I could keep it in a vase somewhere, I would. It's true. Yes, sir.
Boondocks Saints question. As a character from Boondock Saints 1 and 2, who do you prefer, Romeo or Rocco?
Come on,
Rocco!
You know what? I vowed some honesty here. You can't have a fucking Saints without the fucking Rock. He really is. I mean, he's the conscience, he's the heart and the soul. He approaches it with a level of naivete it's endearing, you know? I mean, he's a wonderful human being, and I can't say this enough. That's Rocco, man. He's one of the most genuinely nice human beings I've ever come across. I mean, he's a wonderful dude. And I gotta tell you, there's like, he's like part dunce, part Nietzsche. I'm not kidding. Like, the first time I met him, I didn't even know his name. He came up to me, he's like, Sean, do you like peanut butter? Yeah, Rock, I like peanut butter. Yeah, me too. I remember one time we flew into St. Louis and he goes, did you know that in St. Louis they have the Bowling Hall of Fame? I said, no, Rock, that's fucking cool. Do you bowl? No. So to pull some fucking wacky shit, inspirational shit out of the air. And he couldn't tell you what fucking day it is. Dude, I love that cat. He's a fucking genius artist, man. He's just a good dude, man. Thanks.
You are too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's one line in Dexter, and I want to know how you got it in the script. Deb and Dexter riding in the car. She calls you up, asks you to run a background check. And
You're
she goes,
a fucking saint.
You're a fucking saint. How did you do it?
Because I'm a fucking saint. How does the chick with a nice ass get the dude to say, ooh, nice ass? Have a nice ass.
One other question on Boondock Saints. Billy, the comedian that played your dad, is a hoot. He plays it very straight in the movie. But what was it like with you, Norman, and Billy? I've got to imagine that was a wild ride.
Man, I got to tell you, for those of you guys that don't know, Billy Connolly is a bigger comedian than Chris Rock, Bill Burr, Eddie Murphy put together. I mean, he's a huge fucking star in the indie. Working with him, he's got, you know, a lot of people like that say, oh, quick mind comedians, everybody's brain goes to Robin Williams. This guy blows Robin Williams away. Sits him the fuck down. This guy's brain is on like supernova speed. He and I, driving together to set in the van, were just like, we had the most amazing conversations. And Billy's got a story that'll blow your mind about everything. Everything. Like, he's like, I remember it was 1968, and I was sitting there with David Bowie, and he was with Mick Jagger jerking him off. And I'm and he's not shitting you, man. He's like, I remember that time I was having lunch with Maggie. And I'm like, Maggie? Who Maggie? He's like, oh, Thatcher. You know, the dude's like that, though. You know what I mean? It's like if you met Bono, he does have stories with like, yeah, I was chilling with Clinton the other day, and, you know, he's got those stories. Billy Connolly is a genius, one of the funniest cats I've ever met in my life. Just in conversational humor. Not like written humor, but like just off-the-cuff, witty things. The guy's brain is just, I love this cat. And what a genuinely a nice man. I don't know if you guys saw in the news, though, that he had a little bout with a health problem. So God bless him. Let's all keep in our thoughts and prayers. Super, super good dude, and a rocket sled of a mind. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a Boondock Saints fan too, like everybody else, but I actually started with Powder. That's the first movie that I remember. And then from there, I mean, I watched Boondock Saints because you were in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then, obviously, I fell in love with the movie itself. Through all this, you've done romantic comedies, you've done quirky movies, you've done movies like Powder, which I think was just phenomenal. What was the one that stuck out in your mind, the one you loved the most, or the hardest character for you to do that you said, I have to get this right?
The movie I'm most proud of is Powder, actually. Those films are why you get into the business to me. They're the ones you campaign for. They're not the ones you get cast because you're pretty or different or funny, or they're the ones you hang your hat on, you know. And I'm very proud of that. I wanted it really, really bad. When I read the script, it moved me so much so that I kept on going, and it just never left my brain. And in the course of a number of different auditions, because it's funny, you know, when you think back at the names that they wanted to get for it, it was just a lot of big names, you know. And so I campaigned pretty hard. But that to me is that's the reason that you pursue what they call a craft, or that, whatever that means. That's why you get into the business, you know, to do something so far removed from who you are, you know, that really puts you somewhere. I mean, it's easy to be you on camera, you know. There's some guys that I don't see the difference in character from their interviews to the roles they play. And whereas that's cool, and I see their movies too. But the people that really impress me are the people like, you know, Sean Penn and Val Kilmer. It's like they look different every time you see them. Every nuance of their being is just a different creature, and it's intriguing. It's neat to watch. And so, you know, that was my one little foray to get an opportunity to do something different like that. And I love it. Very proud of it. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. First I want to say, you mentioned Tom Cruise earlier. You are so much cooler than Tom Cruise.
I managed to look coordinated when I hopped up on the bench, right? Yeah. Fucker looked like he was going to twist an ankle, didn't he?
But my question is...
That just went Mission Impossible 5. That's off the table for me now. Sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
My question is, if there's any, is there anyone, actor, actress, or director, anybody that you would just love to work with if you could?
You know, I mean, look, I've made a career out of doing films that a lot of people don't see, you know? So, I mean, it's like I joked earlier about Dexter, but that's true. When they called and they said, it was funny that they, you know, it was like, read it and let us know. It's like, it's fucking Dexter, man. It's like, it's not like I'm on, you know, some huge show. It's like, of course I'll do Dexter. It's like, there's a laundry list of people. One of my holy grail, though, oddly enough, I got to work with on my first film. I did a film called The Grass Heart. And one of my favorite actors, and I think is a very, very versatile actor, was Jack Lemmon. You know, if you see some of his early comedies, some of his dramatic roles, and then you see Glenn Ross, which is one of the most pathetic, humiliating, pulling performances I've ever seen. He's the one that I really wanted to work with, and oddly enough, in my first film, he was in The Grass Heart. I didn't have any scenes with him, but I got to chat with him, and it was an amazing cast. But I mean, the list goes on. I mean, it starts with you know, huge names like Spielberg, and goes down to really arty people. So I mean, my God, it's like I don't get an opportunity to work with like really, really big names, but huge list, man, huge list.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yes, Christy.
Hi. Is it weird to say I'm proud of you for Dexter?
That's so
congratulations.
Weird. Sit down. I know. Thank you very much.
What's next for you?
You know what? I have a film called Broken Horses coming out New Year. Well, not on New Year's, but at the beginning of the year. There's been a lot of press for Dexter, and also with it coming out in different countries, the press is at different times. Like although you know, we've seen it, some of the places haven't. So that's on the core. For those of you guys that don't know, I have a couple of martial arts academies in LA that keep me really, really busy. So besides training, promoting, and shooting, it keeps me pretty busy. But I have agreed to go to Nashville. So for those of you traveling, I'll see y'all there. Me and Reed Steamboat. I thought you were going to start to moonwalk away from that moment. Hey guys, listen up. I speak for myself, Regis, Rocco, all of my friends, and really, you know, you go through a career like mine, and you do a movie, and inevitably you exchange phone numbers at the end. 99% of the movies, you never use those numbers. Boondock is not one of those. Everybody on Boondock is still very, very dear friends of mine. And I speak from the heart when I say this. It's like, I know, you know, 95% of you guys are in the room because of Boondock Saints. Thank you very much. It's made my career, it's made me have an opportunity to come and sit here and talk to you guys like that. We value it. We love that. I can't be more appreciative, and I don't mean to sound overly humble, but it's a really special moment. Like when I walk in here and I say it's really fucking cool up there, it's fucking cool up there. But it's also, it hits you in the chest, you know? So you guys have traveled a long way to come out here and simply just like check us out. It's reciprocated, man. It's reciprocated. Myself, Rita's, we're very thankful for you guys. So thanks very much, man. And I hope to see you guys again. God bless. Now y'all stay and watch my photo shoot.
He really does.
Well, since my baby
Mr. Yummy Pants.
Okay.
I'm not fucking moving.
Oh, hey, and Dexter fans, I hope you guys like it. Tonight is the last episode. Woo! I'm stoked. I hope you guys dig it. I hope it answers all y'all's questions. Feel free to let me know what you think on Twitter.
We will.
I'm pretty active on Twitter, so send me a message. I respond to everybody, man.
Don't
Take
kill
care,
Dexter.
and God bless. I can't promise you that.
Bye, Mr. Yummy Pants.
Yes. They're going to sign it. There is, man. You know what? The director is writing it as we speak. You probably won't see it for a year, but it's going to happen. What's your name, boy?
Oh, I love that.
Joshua. I like that.
So cool.
Take care of your mom.
Take care of your mom. That's so sweet.
I love it. He always
He
says
loves
that.
his mom.